Hello guys, I hope y'all are having a great day. It's a fun day because it's online card class day with Paper Made Prettier, and we're gonna make 3 cute cards. We're gonna be using the Easter set called Easter Basket. We're gonna be using the product of the month set called Fabulous Sayings and Fragrant Layers. And our final card is using Beautifully Celebrated. And the other stamp set we're using is called, let me show you. I don't see it right around on my table. Simply Beautiful. So, if you don't know me, my name is Kay Cogbill. My business is Paper Made Prettier, and we're going to be making our list of what we need to order to make our cards for card class. Now, so you'll know, when you purchase items with me, at least $50 or more, then you're going to get these card kits in the mail for free. So make sure and start your list, and you can go along with me and add to it. All right, so let's start with card number 1. Get my adhesives here. All right, let's make our Easter card. Now, my plan was to make a Valentine's card. That makes more sense for January. But when I got ready to do my card class, all of the Valentine sets were sold out. They're back now, so no worries. And I've got a little Valentine's swap show to show you when we're done. But today we're gonna make an Easter card. So we're gonna use our precious little stamp set called Easter Basket. It's got the most adorable little bunny. He's got his ear kind of crooked. And we've got some really pretty dies. We're going to show you those dies in action when I show you my extra projects made with this stamp set. All right, so you can see here I have this card packet. When you purchase from me, you're going to get this packet in the mail for free when you spend $50 or more. The good news is when you spend $50 or more, you also will get, if it's between now and February the 2nd, you're going to get a $5 bonus days coupon to spend in February. So 50 is the magic number. All right. So what I've got is a basic white thick card base. And then I've already die cut a whole bunch of these little bunnies. And then I've cut up some of this, these papers. This is what you will receive in your packet. And okay, this specialty paper, it's got stuff stuck to something. All right, this is called, let me see what it's called. I think it's on the Easter page, but it could be in the online exclusives. Let me just check. It definitely goes with the Easter suite. Let me look. Yes, it's on the Easter page. It's called Pleasant Patterns Specialty Designer Series Paper. Okay. And it's got floral, this stripe, and then this kind of like gold bronze. I'd call it a copper, bronze, gold. It's kind of all three pattern. So I've cut up a little bit of that for you, and then I've circle punched some of it as well. All right, let's just stamp our bunny first. Now, we were at card class last night, so I got my little positioner tool all ready to go. This is just a little tip when you are stamping multiples of something. Like if you were going to make a bunch of cards, a bunch of Easter cards, you could set this up in your Stamparatus and then you could stamp multiples of these in a flash. So you don't have to line that up or think about it. You just, boom, get it done. So that's just a little trick. And then I'm gonna keep my rabbit white, which is easy, but I'm also gonna give him a tiny little pink ear with my pretty in pink Stampin' Blend. So he's precious. All right, and then we're going, and this is a swap that I received from Karen Titus, Precious as Pie. I added a little something to it, a little bow, but she has the cutest cards. And I also added the coloring on the ear. So we're going to put a pretty in pink layer here, and then we're going to pop some of this specialty paper down. Now, doesn't this specialty paper just make it really pop? Like, I love it. So cute. We also have some Easter Designer Series paper that coordinates with this, but we're only using this specialty paper today. And then I've got a bunch of circles cut with, this is with a stylish shape die. This is with a 2 1/4 circle punch. And then this is with a 2 1/8 circle punch. That makes quick work. And then we're gonna pop this sweet pea on with Stampin' Dimensionals. And then one of the cutest things you'll find in the catalog with this Easter sweetness are these embellishments called Easter Assortment. And it's basically a lemon lolly, a balmy blue, and then a little Easter egg that's pink and white. So the other two are dots, in case you can't see that close. But, and our little sweet rabbit is just going to be holding an Easter egg because that's what he does, right? And then the last thing we're going to do is grab a glue dot. And this little pink ribbon is in the Valentine's Suite, but it's a bubble bath. I think it's an 1/8 inch ribbon, and it's just the perfect little embellishment. That's kind of other thing that I added to that card from Karen. So Easter cards. Hello, Barb. I'm so glad you found me. I know Barb makes cards for her church. This will be a perfect little card for your church ladies for Easter. All right, let me show you some additional cards made with that stamp set and bundle. Now, something you'll notice, because we noticed, there are coordinating dies to the Easter basket set, and we've got these little stripe dies and this Easter basket. So you'll see here that you can cut out that Easter basket and then weave it through with these little strips, if that's not the most adorable thing. These are some swaps that I've received. Another Easter card, Precious. This is bringing in more of that designer paper from the Easter Suite. Oh my gosh, look at that tiny little bow on his head. That's adorable. So lots of cute little Precious Easter cards to share. All right, card number 2. Let me go with what's in front of me. We have, this card is made with, yes, the specialty paper is so pretty. Almost as pretty as this blue designer paper. This is something that we used last week. I'll show you the cards we made last week on, our first thing on our shopping list is called Easter Basket Bundle, okay? So make sure and write that down. You need that, and then you need that paper that's called Pleasant Patterns specialty paper. And then you're going to need those Easter, they're called Easter Assortment embellishments. All right, thank you for your patience there. I didn't have time to write that out ahead of time. All right, so the next card we're using our True Blue Florals Designer Series paper. And that is the one that is a product of the month product from December, actually. It's still available, and it is $5 when you make a $75 purchase, and that's the only way you can get it. So we used it last week when we did our stamp stack cut shuffle technique. So not this card, actually. We didn't make this card last week, but this is also made using that Pretty Designer Series paper. But what we've also brought in is even more exciting in this area is the, where's my stamp set? Here it is. Fabulous Sayings. Okay, this is January's product of the month. So when you spend $75, you can get this product of the month for free. I mean, for $5. So you definitely don't want to leave that out of your cart. You want to make sure and do that. And what happens is when you're ordering, a little progress bar will be across the top, and you'll want to click that. So we're using True Blue Florals DSP, and then we're also using Fragrant Layers. That's the flowers. Fragrant Layers set, and then the Fabulous Sayings is the product of the month set. Product of the month. Okay, and that's only $5, and this is only $5. Now, you can get both products of the month right now, so that's exciting. Neither one is sold out yet. All right, so let's just put this card together. And I've already done the stack, cut, and shuffle technique on your packet. So when you get your packet, you will want to put the packets together separately because the papers don't need to be mixed together because they're all part of, they're all cut a certain way to fit together. So we're going to piece these together. Now there is a very thin border here, and we're just going to stick these pieces of designer paper. Now, of course, when you order from me, you'll get your packets in the mail already cut and ready. So you won't have to worry about cutting the designer paper and all of that. But trust me, you're going to want more designer paper when you're done because you're going to want to make more and more of these cute cards. But this technique to cut this paper, as I said, we did on Facebook Live last week. I have not uploaded it to YouTube yet, but I will. But if you want to find that, it's on my Paper Made Prettier Facebook page, which is where I am live right now. But I'll get it uploaded to YouTube soon. All right, we've got that paper laid down, and then I'm using this most fabulous die of all time. And I just keep using it over and over. And whenever I use it, someone says, "Where did you get that?" And it's called the Beautifully Celebrated die. It is in the suite of products that we are going to use next, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's in the suite called Lovely and Beautiful. Okay, this is this suite. Okay, and it is right here, Beautifully Celebrated on page 24. We'll talk more about that in a second. So we're going to use our product of the month sentiment. We're going to use You're on My Mind. I can never have too much of that. I've got 2 friends right now that I'm going to send this to, and probably more that I don't even know about or can't think about at the moment. So we're going to start with Night of Navy right here in the middle. And then we're going to grab our Stampin' Pierce mat to do the next part. So we're going to use Fragrant Layers, and we're going to start with the outlined set. So there's 2 sets that go together, this one and this one. Okay, we're going to start with this one. And we're going to stamp the outline in Night of Navy. So just get it nice and inky here. I think my Night of Navy pad needs some ink, so I gotta get pretty heavy-handed there. And we're going to stamp it once up here, and then we're gonna stamp it once down here. Okay. And then we're going to fill in with Balmy Blue. So the Balmy Blue stamp is going to be stamped off on your... Now, I've got a Stampin' Pierce mat covered. I'll show you how I've done that. Covered with a grid sheet so that it has it's got a... So I don't get like stamp off onto my Pierce mat, but also it's got a good contact surface underneath there. So let's see. I'm going to stamp this off for just a smidge, and then I'm going to line this up. Let's see, is this it? No. Just kind of spin it until it fits here. There. No. No, it's not that. What did I do? We played this game last night at class. It was pretty fun. Okay, here it is. You just kind of keep spinning until you can see where it matches. Okay, so there's your matchup. We're going to ink it again, do the same thing, and then we're going to line this up like so. That was a lot easier that time. Here we go. So we've got our Balmy Blue flowers on top of our Night of Navy outline. Precious, precious. And then we're going to pop this up to our card using dimensionals. And you'll have the basic white to go inside in your packet. And then the cutest little accent to this card is going to be our Balmy Blue and white gingham ribbon. So I don't... Oh, yeah, here it is. Nope, that was a ribbon attached to a card. But I'll send that to you, and you just pop it right there on the card. Cute as buttons. All right, so True Blue Florals paper, fragrant layers for the flowers, and then the sentiment is Fabulous Sayings. And the blue paper and the sentiment are product of the month. Okay, so they're both free with, they're both, I just keep saying over and over, it's $5 with, basically free, $5 with a $75 purchase. All right, so those are our cards. These is another card that I made with that blue floral paper and that same set of, that same die, but a different stamp set. So that's our second card. Let me go ahead and do our Valentine's swap show so that you can see Valentine's. We're going to make one next week. But I just want you to get a head start on Valentine's. You can be ordering the Valentine's stuff since it came back and get started. So this is the 6x6 Valentine's paper. We have Valentine Kisses with the Endless Love Valentine's designer paper, maybe is what it's called. I'm not quite sure, but it's from the Valentine's Suite. And then we have the Endless Love bundle with lots of dies and hearts and cuteness. You can even see this person's brought in some navy. This person is stitched all around that cute heart with some different colors. I've got these couple of cards I designed. Here we have our Valentine. We made this on Facebook Live the other day. And you can even bring in our little U to make some cute Valentines. So we will make one of those next week on our Facebook Live. All right. So let's look at our next card. And I love this card. I love this suite. It's got all my favorite colors. Just some really... like not super pastel-y pastels, which is kind of what I love. These are the colors in here are Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Fresh Freesia Gold, Old Olive, Peach Pie, and Petal Pink. Okay, as I said, this is a mega suite called Simply Beautiful. Beautiful, I mean, Lovely and Beautiful is the mega suite. The stamp sets in it are Simply Beautiful and Beautifully Celebrated. You want to get the whole suite. The whole suite, it's a mega suite, so it's $150 for the whole suite. But you're going to love these embellishments, this ephemera pack, and then this gold ribbon. So we're going to use most of that today, not all of it. Okay. Let's get this out of the way and just grab our packet. Now, we're going to build our card front on a piece that's 5.5 by 4.25 so that we can hide our ribbon. So we're going to put a little bit, there's my ribbon. I knew it was here somewhere. So that way our ribbon won't show. It's just a little trick. You know, I think this designer paper is the prettiest one in the catalog. It's got all the prettiest flowers, but also some gold woven through there, if you can see that. And then we've got a little strip of Calypso coral that coordinates with it from that pack. It's a flip side of one of the patterns. I'll show you those papers again. Each paper has a fabulous floral on one side and then a monochromatic on the other. So very cool. So I've just used the back side of that paper for that little strip. One of your cards will have that strip. The other card will have a fresh freesia strip. I'll show you if I can. Yeah. So your other card will have this color strip. But you can stamp them the same. Okay, and then we're going to use, again, this Beautifully Celebrated die. And our paper, our ink we're going to use is called, oh, let's just go ahead and finish our card front while we've got that going. So, we need our gold ribbon, which is floated away. Here it is. And we are going to wrap this around. Now, before we do that, we're going to put some adhesive right here, tied down, because honestly, this ribbon is pretty thick. It's a great trim, but not necessarily a cute bow. So that's why I did that. And then we're going to put this whole operation down to our card base, just to get that out of the way before we set something on it. And I'm going to go ahead and get some adhesive on this side too. Need quite a bit for this to stick well. And then your ribbon is hidden there. So that's just a little trick to hide that ribbon edge, is you can just make a whole layer and put it back there. All right, let's do our stamping. So we are going to find our Stampin' Pierce mat again. The first thing we're going to stamp is our sentiment. And this sentiment we're going to stamp with the stamp set. And this is the one that I said I need to show you in the book. It's called Beautifully Celebrated. Okay. And it's got A Day to Remember, This Calls for a Celebration, and then Simply the Best. So it's in this mega suite, and it's actually the bundle with those perfect dies. So you're going to want that bundle anyway. And then we're using the stamps from Simply Beautiful, these 2 floral stamps. And actually, I'm just going to use one of the floral stamps for this card. So we are going to stamp our sentiment with Old Olive. This block is kind of too small. Let's see if it works. Yeah. All right. And then we're going to come in with one of those flowers from that set. And we're going to pop into that white space with some fresh freesia. The most beautiful little purple flower you can imagine. And that sweet card is finished, other than popping that up with a Stampin' Dimensional. Now, I'm completely fresh out of the embellishments for this suite, but if you want this card to sparkle, you want to add the perlite, no, pearlized faceted circles. Okay, so those are super pretty. And I've got some right on the table in front of me on a card I'll show you. So to recap, we're going to use the both bundles Beautifully Celebrated. We're going to use Simply Beautiful. And we're going to use the paper called Lovely and Beautiful. Just get the whole suite. But it is very pretty. Okay. So that's the main products there. And then you can see these faceted circles from that suite are just the perfect embellishment. This is a card I made as a thank you note. Here are some other cards made with that suite that are just stunning. So pretty, pretty, pretty. And look at that. Lovely. Lovely. All right, so to recap, online card class, you're going to receive everything. When you do a $50 order, you're going to receive everything to make 2 each of these fantastic cards that we've made today. So you're going to be able to make 2 Easter, 2 Sympathy, and then 2 of these celebration cards, either wedding, anniversary, whatever you want it to be. So when you spend $50, you're going to get all 6 card kits, plus bonus day coupon from Stampin' Up. So the card kits are from me, but the bonus days coupon are from Stampin' Up. When you spend $75, you're going to unlock the potential to get the product of the month for $5. And to recap, the products of the month are that True Blue Floral paper and that stamp set called, I've covered it up at this point, Fabulous Sayings. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've got to get your order in by Monday. I don't know, today's the 21st, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, the 26th, to get those packets in the mail. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.